Our first question is, how did you find out about Talents Tokyo?
I did Talents Tokyo. This was in 2015.
It was in 2015.
At that time, I didn't know very much about film labs and or even film festivals. I mean, I made a film, but then I didn't really understand, the film festival circuits and stuff like this. So I was finding out more about it. And then it's interesting because I don't know where exactly I stumbled on Talents Tokyo exactly. I've heard of some filmmaker friends probably being on Talents Tokyo before. I decided I would apply for it.
So by 2015, you already made a film and well, like you already had a career as a filmmaker. Why did you decide to apply, if you remember, why did you decide to apply to Talents Tokyo at that timing?
In 2015, I made a film, but I wouldn't call it like a big career or anything of that sort. I did film school, which taught you how to use the camera, the technical skills, telling a story, but I think I didn't know so much about the industry, about, distribution and all these things. And I, from what I hear, yeah, that Talents Tokyo, brings experts in and to discuss, things. And so I thought this is something that would be interesting for me. And also as an exchange of ideas, because I know that there would be other filmmakers in the region that would join. Yeah, and so I thought that is probably, yeah, that was probably the reason why I signed up for it.
When you applied to Talents Tokyo and when you came to Tokyo, did you have like a set goal in mind, or did you have like a task you wanted to complete it by the time you finished the program?
We came with a project, so that was what was also a requirement of the application. And so I think it was very much with the idea that how to improve the project, how to improve, to learn how to pitch the project. Actually, prior to doing Talents Tokyo, I've never really pitched my film before, because my previous film was how should I put it? Completely self-funded, you know. Yeah, I didn't know how to find money, and yeah, so I thought, if I am really going to take this filmmaking as a career, it would be something like a next step for me to really understand how to go about with the financing and how to pitch for my projects. So I think that was one of the goals and outcomes that I wanted with the film. Yeah.
The next question is, what was something good about that came out of Talents Tokyo? Like, what do you feel was like the benefit of joining Talents Tokyo for you?
Well, for me, the big benefits were firstly, the experts that came in to share gave us a really deeper discussion about what the back end, of, like, not just the making of the films, but the sales and the territories and how to sort of strategize the release of the films. Yeah, all of those stuff that you don't really get to learn, like from film school or from making your short films. So that was that. I mean, yeah, the experts that came in to share, those were really important for me. What I maybe didn't expect to to get so rewarded by, only until the end of the process, was actually the friendships that I made. Yeah, with all the other participants. We got really, really close. It's also maybe the format of how Talents Tokyo was. It was very intense, and it really put us together in a situation, in a very intense situation that created very strong bonds, I feel. And yeah, and, even up to today, I'm still in very close contacts with some of the friends I've made in Tennis Tokyo. And it was
Oh,
like 10 years.
that's great to hear. I'm happy to hear about that as one of the organizers. You said that you learned about sales distribution and, well, like you learned a lot from the experts, but do you feel like that has, how to phrase it, that plays a role in you as a director today? Like, did it, do you still feel the benefit to this day? Is, I guess, the question.
I mean, absolutely. I think, after that, after the Tennis Tokyo experience, for me, it was for me moving into making my previous film, I Then Imagine, which was maybe something more more larger scale. And with the next film, it was really about trying to do co-productions, trying to get sales, trying to understand with the distribution and all of that. I think if I didn't have those initial understanding from Tennis Tokyo, I would have been really lost in the whole process. So I think the what I learned from Tennis Tokyo gave me a nice sort of foundation to grow from there.
We like to hear a bit more about friendship that you developed at Talents Tokyo.
I think when I met the other participants, we were all feeling like we're on the same boat, and that was a real bonding between us, because maybe you've already been working at it on your own kind of films, and it can feel a bit lonely sometimes, as a filmmaker. Yeah. And then I think upon going to like participating in Tennis Tokyo and meeting the rest of the filmmakers who also feel the same, kind of lonely in this journey, and then finding that bond, to that that and we sort of encouraged each other and on this journey, and it has been like very, yeah, we kept on we kept on with the relationships. Also, I think importantly, because Talent Tokyo is Asia, right? It's only Asia. So we also meet up with these filmmakers easier, you know. I think in Asia, and it was really just, I think it was less than 30 of us, it was like a very small group. Yeah, so I often meet up with them, in film festivals, and they come to Singapore. And so, yeah, it's been a very strong friendship. And it's also a very encouraging one, because we are constantly sort of asking about each other's projects, like how has it been, what are the new projects, and so, and maybe we also give each other comments on our projects, and this continues to be the case.
You're the third person. Well, we interviewed two more people, and they both said filmmaking is a lonely career.
It is, it
It
is.
is. A question about how you feel about filmmaking, but would you say that like the filmmaking, not just like your staff, but like the filmmaking community and like having like a comrade by your side is important to you as a filmmaker?
I it's super important. It's super important. I mean, I think that there are different kinds of filmmaking. I think that there are filmmakers who who maybe does everything him or herself, and it's more of that kind of journey for them. But for me, it's a very social thing. As much as I was saying, it's also very lonely. But filmmaking is something for me that I seek for collaborations. If I don't manage to find sort of the synergies from the collaborations, for me, there is no growth and there is nothing exciting for me, that would appear in the film if it is all just me. So I think having collaborators, having longtime partners, you only really can believe in a project if there are people who are believing in the project together with you in an extended period of time, or else this belief in your own project starts to become very delusional if you're all alone.
嗯
你这个是在拍什么？
这不是我拍的，刚刚有人送过来的。
你是跟着他干嘛呀？
关灯。
我只想要找到小波，
我们在你家外安装监控。
只要可以找到小波，做什么都可以。
小波就在溜滑梯那个地方，然后他就不见了。你真的相信是他拐走小波的？
隔壁房间啊，你藏了什么？
你有看到你喜欢的吗？我跟你走。
你只要一直盯着一个人，一直盯着他。总有一天，那个人就算不是贼，也会变成贼。
I believe you mentioned that you joined several labs after Talents Tokyo. Could you maybe elaborate, or if there is any, could you maybe elaborate on how maybe Talents Tokyo is unique or better, or what was good about it compared to others?
I mean, I think there are sort of the labs position themselves differently, whereas you have labs, later on I also did very script oriented labs, and they are really to develop scripts with a script consultant, and but for me, Talents wasn't that. Talents was more about creating the pitch or the dossier, like it's about sort of how do you even approach if you don't have a producer? And for me, it was really strong, in terms of like preparing us for the pitching of the project. And I think it was, for me, definitely a first time that like, Talents also brought in real producers for the pitching project. So it wasn't just like it was just doing it for a class, you know what I mean? Like that, there was a very real experience about this. And for me, importantly, that there was Filmex, the festival, the film festival, which for me is very different with a lot of film festivals that and a lot of film labs that are not linked with a film festival.
It might be a tough question, but if you feel any, what do you feel like is the social value or like the significance of Talents Tokyo?
So I think a lot of filmmakers look for that as a kind of recognition for their projects, and so my film has been workshopped at Talents Tokyo before, and so it gives producers a heads up, it gives producers to be more aware or to take more attention to this project because it has gone through Talents Tokyo before, because Talents Tokyo has built itself up as also a very strong branding, you know, and I think that's important. I would think so because it's an important film lab in Asia. I think, you know, it's for me hard to think of so many, you know, in Asia. There's only a few, and Talent being one of the already by now one of the older, you know, one of the most historic in that sense. So I think it adds to the development of projects, if anything. I mean, Talent is not maybe as involved in the production of a project, but you know, you guys have the next master's support program, right? And also, yeah, it's the development of the projects. I think they are, you know, Talents is well positioned in that sense in developing the project.
All right, so that was it for the questions for the interview. So thank you so much for today.
Thank you.